Good afternoon, friends. My name is Alena Shautsova. I'm an immigration attorney from New York. In today's video, we will be discussing cancellation of removal. You probably heard about this relief, and here I'm going to talk about when someone qualifies for it. Can you qualify for it even if you had an order of removal against you from a long time ago? And what happens when you are approved? So thank you very much for watching. If this is your first time, welcome. I'm a practicing immigration lawyer. I practice from New York, but I do help people from all 50 states and overseas. And I regularly publish such educational videos. So when you are doing your research, you're going to find a little bit more information and perhaps your life will become a little bit easier. So please like this video, share it, and let's start. Cancellation of removal. Some people refer to it as a 10-year green card. There is unfortunately a mistaken belief that if you lived in the United States for 10 years, in 10 years, someone in the United States can give you a green card. Well, here is the problem. 10 years in the United States is not the only condition that you have to meet to receive cancellation of removal. 10 years also can be counted differently for different people, believe it or not. So cancellation of removal is a relief that is available to one, first of all, only in court. This is extremely important. You can file for it only in court. It means that you have to be in removal proceedings. You probably are aware of cases when people came to lawyers, or maybe it was even your case, when you came to an immigration attorney and you asked them as to what is it that I can do with my status, and they said, well, don't worry, we're going to file for asylum for you, and when the time comes, you're going to file for a green card with a judge. Tell me if this is your case. Tens of thousands of cases were filed like that in the United States within the past 7 to 10 years. Some people were not aware about what is it that they're getting into. But what happened is that they got the chance of receiving the cancellation of removal, or as applying for it sometimes, but they didn't know that they will be placed in removal proceedings. So cancellation of removal is a relief that can be filed for only when you are in immigration court. It's extremely important to know that. This is the biggest difference with adjustment of status, when adjustment of status can be filed before USCIS or before the judge. Cancellation of removal can be filed only in court. So that's one interesting thing about it. 10 years, yes, it's true. You have to show that you've been residing in the United States for 10 years, but those 10 years were uninterrupted by certain events. These events are service of notice to appear. It means when the government gave you the charging document that started immigration court proceedings against you in court. Service of notice to appear interrupts the legal counting of 10-year period. That's number one condition. Number two, when you commit a certain crime, it also stops the clock for 10-year time period. Very important. And certain departures from the United States also going to interrupt the continuous 10 years in the United States. But not all departures. If departures were brief or innocent, they will not interrupt the accrual of this 10-year period. So you see, for various purposes, the government counts time differently, and for cancellation of removal. And here's an interesting thing. Because of the litigation, sometimes, even after you have an order of removal, you may still qualify for cancellation of removal if your proceedings are reopened successfully. This is because the service of defective notice to appear that did not have date and time of your hearing does not interrupt the accrual of that 10-year period. How to find out if you're a good candidate for this situation? You will have to order a copy of your file from UIR. Sometimes USCIS file is going to have your UIR file, at least the most important notices in it as well, and review it to see if the notice to appear that was given to you had at the bottom of it the date and time for your hearing. If it did not, if instead it was saying to be set or to be determined or TBD, you may have a chance of reopening your case now, and if it is making sense, file for cancellation or removal. So this is the thing with this 10 years, guys. It's not necessarily that somebody who lived here for 10 years, 100% is going to be able to file for cancellation or removal. Another important condition for cancellation or removal is that your application or you by yourself is not enough. It's not enough. You have to show that you have a qualifying relative in the United States. Qualifying relative who is your spouse, parent, or a child under 21 years old who will suffer exceptional and unusual hardship in case of your removal. So not only you have that relative, you also have to show that they're going to suffer exceptional and unusual hardship in case of your removal. And I believe I have a separate video on hardship. If you are worried about the hardship, please call my office. We're going to go over various situations when we were able to prove that there was hardship. I would have to say here that it takes a talent and practice, experience and intuition for a lawyer sometimes to get good arguments from clients in support of this particular prong of the cancellation or removal. I had cases where people came to me saying that, well, my lawyer says that I will not be able to show the hardship. And guess what? Not only we were able to show the hardship, the judge agreed with us that there is a hardship. It means the lawyer didn't do their job, okay? Didn't do their job. They didn't spend time talking to you, finding out how you really live, how your family members are living, what difficulties they faced in life. And they said you don't have hardships, and you do have hardships that you can show to court and win your case. So 10 years in the United States, qualifying family members, hardship to qualifying family members, you have to show that you're a person of good moral character. Usually it means that you've been paying your taxes in the United States, you did not commit certain disqualifying crimes, you didn't lie on your documents, or the court will forgive you if you did under certain circumstances. Minor exceptions may apply here, but guess what? Once you meet these statutory prongs, the statutory demands, the judge has the last word. It's called a discretion. The judge, in his or her discretion, will determine whether or not you deserve this cancellation or removal. And one thing that you have to keep in mind, and this is something that I said we're going to cover at the beginning of this video, is that even if cancellation or removal application is approved for you today, the judge says that they incline to approve your case, it's going to take you about 3.5 to 4 years currently to receive that green card based on cancellation and removal. So if it's going to take you approximately the same time to get that other relief without having to face a potential removal order, now you have to make your choice as to what is it that you want to do and how you want to address the case, right? If you meet the judge who says, listen, I love your case, everything is fantastic, your case is granted, then you don't have to face this choice. But if the judge says you must choose what you want to do, then your lawyer has to help you to make that decision by advising you of different options as to what's going to happen, when and how, and so on and so forth, and the consequences, right? So 4 years, guys, from today, if you are approved. In other words, if you are hearing from someone, hey, come to my office, I'll help you to get that green card in no time. It's easy, 10-year green card. Now you know it's not easy, it's not fast. You may not have 10 years, right? And you also have to prove hardship. All I want to do here is for you to be informed. It's not that it's impossible to receive it. I love working on these cases. We have a strong approval record for these cases. But you need to understand what it is when you are making your choices to file for that asylum, hoping that you're going to get a 10-year green card. So guys, thank you very much for watching. I hope this video is helpful. If so, don't forget to like, share it, subscribe to my channel, and I hope to see you soon.